Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in. Winning cures everything. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And it is Monday, November the 2nd. It is election eve. Are you pumped?
Not really, but okay.
I think tomorrow is going to be a complete shit show.
Yes.
But, you know, it could be entertaining, I guess. I will.
Let's just all be cool.
Yes, that's the biggest thing, right? Everybody be good, be chill. At the end of the day, this is not life or death. This, you know, I think the country's going to be fine one way or the other. Everything will be okay. We will all survive. And there you go. Terry jumps in already, said, "What's up? What is up, my buddy?" Good old Terry. His Panthers last Thursday, not looking great, but hey, he understands it's a rebuilding year. That's the way these things go. So let's go ahead and give you the rundown on what we're doing today. McKinnon jumps in already. Howdy, gents. McKinnon, the new dad thing. I'm guessing he's not getting a lot of sleep. Andres Morales, what's up, guys? Hope you guys had a great weekend. Great weekend of betting for sure. Casey said, "What's up, players?" What is up indeed? I did not have a great betting weekend. I won in the NFL.
Yeah, you didn't do terrible all weekend. Overall, on the weekend, you did fine.
I did fine. My official plays from last Tuesday were putrid, and that's what I'm really worried about, is making sure I hit those Tuesday plays. Man, it gets tougher and tougher every week, every single week. Here is the rundown for today. We're going to talk about our Monday Night Football picks very quickly. We're going to talk some election gambling and whatnot for the offshore markets. We are going to talk about Dan Mullen and what went on with that scene on Saturday night and what the SEC has done. And we are going to discuss our recap of the NFL weekend before the Monday Night Football game. So, Alonzo Chico, what's up, pimpin'? Go Gators. Go Darth Vader. Yep, we're going to talk about your buddy Dan Mullen. That's what I'm talking about. Michael Fritch, what's up? Hey, we hadn't seen Michael Fritch in a long time. I'm glad he got in here right before Election Tuesday. I'm good with that. McKinnon said, "Hell no, I'm not, but if I'm awake for WCE, then by God, I'm watching." Hey, that's what I'm talking about. This is the perfect time to feed the baby. That's what I'm talking about. Daryl said, "My boys in the building." Hey, we got a bunch of guys in. If you would like to be a part of the show, you can jump in the chat over on YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, or Facebook. Any of those. The bottom left-hand corner of your screen is where the chat box is located, and any of those platforms will populate right there. Very easy to do. Just jump on in. That's where the live show is. If any of you have not already, go and subscribe to the podcast. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure that you leave a nice 5-star written review. We would certainly appreciate that, because we do podcast exclusives over there, and we would like to get the word out, because last month, Chris, I hadn't even told you this number. We hit over 19,000 downloads last month. Felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. That's pretty awesome.
That was a big number for us, so we certainly appreciate you guys helping out with it. Zamora, 60-90, hit on a money line parlay, Raiders, Steelers, and Broncos. Hey, you needed that Broncos thing so bad. What a way to end up winning a pool there, a parlay. He said, "I'm in a football pick'em pool, final two. I need the Bucs to score more than 44. Well, it's for the whole game, for the game, total.
The total for both teams, right?
Yes.
Okay, you don't need the Bucs to score 44.
Yeah, no. Needs a total for the game. He said, "Combined, what do y'all think? 43 or under, or 44 and over?"
I would go under.
You think so?
I don't think the Giants are scoring touchdowns.
I think you might be right about that. Yeah, I'd probably go under. Michael asked about the Killer Hornet tees. Hey, I will have that up later this week. As a matter of fact, I've been working on it this weekend. So, yeah, we will have our Murder Hornet tees ready to roll on the website. Sam Wren said, "Love the show, guys. Even though they lost, go Pack, go." Yep. Michael said, "How about them Broncos?" Yes, indeed. I had the Broncos plus 3.5. So that was nice there for me. I have stopped doing the money line parlays. I can't. The underdog, or sorry, the round robins. I've stopped doing it. There's not enough underdogs winning right now. I can't do it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, even if you hit every underdog that won and you only bet 4 or 6, you still can't win money, because only 3 or 4 are winning every week.
Yeah, and it's typically
you got to 3.5. You got to pick the wrong ones. I mean, you got to pick the right ones. It's almost impossible to do.
Yes, it is. You're right about that. Let's see. Terry said, what's with these 2-ship primetime NFL games this week? So sad. Hey, the NFC East is just terrible. I mean, it just is what it is.
Well, no, this is the problem. College football has this problem as well. All these TV stations are all whores, Terry. They're all whores. They whore themselves out for money. That's what they do.
It is true. It's
they don't give a damn about the quality of anything they're putting on. They just want to show the people that make them the most money.
They want to show the Giants. They want to show the Eagles. They want to show the Cowboys. Yeah, I understand it.
That makes them whores.
Yeah, it does not make for great anything. I mean, it's just it was a bad football game, just a terrible football game. But that's the way it's going to go this year. It does appear, and I'm not a fan of it. But we're going to get stuck with these. Now we are moving into flex season, so I'm okay with that. I would prefer to have that. Zamora said, I hope so, Andres. I just hope the Giants put up some points. And Daryl said, good vibes. Yes, we need good vibes. Casey asking about San Jose State and San Diego State. Spreads 9.5. Tomorrow, my friend. The opening line show, by the way, we recorded it earlier, and it will be up very soon. The guys hit me up. They had an issue uploading the video, so it'll be up over on SBR's page very soon. We can go ahead and talk about that as well. Go to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Do it all the time. They got a great crew over there. We write for them as well. We do 3 videos a week. Opening lines on Monday. We do the big show, the flagship show, our deep dives into the biggest games, and our official picks on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we're doing it tomorrow, even though it's Election Day. So we're going to be knocking that thing out. And then Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern time. May change the time this week. Still waiting to hear back on that, but we'll let you guys know. So, with that said, go and check it out. Sportsbook Review YouTube page and sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Let's talk about this Monday Night Football game right quick. The line went from 9.5 all the way up to currently it is 13 at the majority of the books. You can still find some 12.5s out there. You still like that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you're still all over the Bucs.
What have we learned about these double-digit favorites against bad teams in the NFL, Gary?
I mean, that's you got a very
they still cover.
Yeah,
they still cover.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Man, I was gonna say I took the Bucs on last Wednesday's show. I was gonna maybe look at the Giants because that line has gotten up so high, but I don't know that the Giants can score.
I don't think the Giants are going to score. But, I mean, I could see the Giants getting maybe 10, 13, but not much more than that.
Casey said AB's going to go off.
Maybe they might work him in a little bit. I mean, if they get a big lead, they can. If they get a big lead, they can draw up a bunch of stuff just for him to try to get him into shape if they have a lead.
Kyle Shook jumps in. Steelers undefeated. What's Chris's excuse now?
We'll address that. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We're going to talk about that game.
Just hang out.
I have an answer for it. I have a response. I'm a grown up. I take my medicine.
Yeah, it's Matt Miller said he can play next week. Talking about AB. Yeah, I don't think AB is playing tonight. They said week 9.
Is he not?
They said week 9. So I mean, who knows? Who knows? Terry said Giants got as much chance at scoring as we did in high school. Yeah,
that wasn't a lot.
You got that right. So I don't think I don't know that the Giants are going to score a lot. And I fully expect Tom Brady to take out all of his past transgressions on the Giants tonight. I think he takes advantage of this situation. The Giants are just a bad football team. And you've got a massive mismatch here. The Giants don't have anybody that can run the football right now.
Well, also, Tom has found himself in a very unique situation. We started the season off week 4, week 5, where we had 5 to 7 guys that were all kind of in the mix for MVP. And then week 7, week 6, week 7, week 8, folks started falling away, okay? And it's kind of now a 3-horse race. And a new horse that wasn't in it beforehand got in. It's basically Patrick Mahomes. It is Russell Wilson, and Tom Brady is the third man out right now in that race with those other guys. Everybody else has kind of either fallen back to earth or fallen flat on their face. So I think he's got a little extra fire and motivation that he didn't have, because I think there is a world in which Russell struggles or Patrick struggles late. If he can put up big numbers, people are going to say, this guy's had an unbelievable career, but we rarely gave him the MVP because he won too many Super Bowl MVPs and too many Super Bowls, and we just got tired of seeing him win, so they just didn't vote for him very often, knowing he was the greatest player, in the history of the league. I think now at 43, 44 years old, I think it's going to be a hell of a story for them to write if they have a chance to write it.
Yes.
Now, he's going to need Russell to fall. He's going to need Russell to come on some hard times, and he's going to have to keep playing well.
This is true. And I think he continues that tonight. I think he can play against that Giants defense.
Yeah. I think the bad defense is he knows I'm going to put up stats. I got to put up stats.
Terry said, I'm glad it's a bad game. I've been at work since 7 a.m. Sunday morning. Won't get off till 5:30 tonight. I won't even be mad when I fall asleep watching. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Joseph said, did we put away the Pat shirt for the Brown shirt? No, he wears the Brown shirt on here more than he wears his Pat stuff. Yeah. So
I wear them both. I got them all.
He married into a Browns family.
I got a closet full of all of it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I have no more grown-up clothes anymore now that I no longer have a grown-up job, and that's it.
Terry said, I think the Brady Belichick story has been told, and Brady was the key.
We're gonna disagree there. I think they can both, to be as dominant as they were for as long as they were. No one person can do that.
Yeah, I don't think that it was. I don't believe that it was a one man thing.
No,
I think
if Tom was there right now, they wouldn't have the losses that they have, but they would still not be a good team.
Yeah, I mean, that team has no talent. I mean, I think that's why Tom left.
I think that's why Tom left. I think he kept restructuring his contract to take less money over and over and over again, and they were not spending that money on offensive weapons at all.
You are correct about that. All right, so I guess we are both rolling with the Bucs minus the 13 tonight. There's 12 and a halves out there if you want to go get them. So you can shop over at sbrodds.com. Make sure you go get your picks in, all that good stuff. The game starts here in about 3 hours or so. It's like a 7 something Central Time.
It's usually 7:30.
Yep. So you got a little while to get your bets in, so go ahead and knock that stuff out. If you would, while you're watching right now, if you're on YouTube or any of these other spots, go ahead and like the video for us. Share it out. Tell your friends about it. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you need to be subscribed. We got a good number of people watching right now. Wanted to make sure we go ahead and get that out. Let's go ahead and jump into some election betting. We don't talk about this all the time. We don't always have the opportunity to because we are knee-deep in football whenever this happens. And 4 years ago, we had just started the podcast. So, this is a very popular segment of the population that likes to jump in on this election coverage. And it's not from a who's going to win, who's going to lose for the country. It is how can I personally profit off of this? That's right. That's what the people that watch our show want to know. That's what they want to go with. Casey said, who's favored, Trump or Biden? Biden is a minus 170 favorite at the majority of the books now, which puts Trump at plus 130. And if you go based on the last go-round, I would put money on Trump because I don't think you've got the value with Biden. I think that the polls are a little bit skewed because I think a lot of people are embarrassed to say that they would vote for Donald Trump. And I totally get it, right? I mean, Andres said, I think Trump loses, to be honest. And yeah, Zamora said, can't get mad if you don't vote. It's a person you didn't want, or if a person you didn't want wins. The biggest thing about these elections, by the way, is your local elections. Good gracious. I have to explain it to people all the time. Go vote for your local guys. That's where it's going to make the most difference for you. Not who's president. It doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter who's the president in your city, right? So we can go back and forth about whether or not it matters or not, but either way. Casey said, can we parlay this stuff? Vegas cracks me up. Vegas won't let you. Offshore books will. So you can parlay a couple of things. It depends on the book, of course. But so let's go ahead and take a look at this right now. Real Clear Politics is saying that Biden and Kamala Harris have 216 electoral votes right now. And that's based on like the likeliest, right? The likeliest and the ones that are leaning more Biden. Trump and Pence have 125, and you've got 197 electoral votes that are toss-ups. And the Big Ten states are where this is going to be won. So they're saying that Georgia and Florida and Texas are all up in the air. And I don't buy that. I think all of those are going to go red. So where this election is going to be won is Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Like, I think Michigan probably ends up going Biden. And then Biden would basically have to flip Pennsylvania Pennsylvania or Ohio or Wisconsin, right?
I mean, he's supposedly leading Wisconsin and Pennsylvania pretty big right now.
That's what they said, but man, if you actually go look at the polling numbers, like he's leading about the same that Hillary was as far as the polls go last time.
We have to stop using last time stuff. Okay, you can't just say, "Oh, well, last time it didn't work out, so it's not going to work out this time." We're in a different place 4 years from now. Last time, like 4 or 5 million people didn't show up to vote. That all showed up to vote the election beforehand. Okay,
Agreed.
That's not the case now. We have more early voting than we've ever had if you added up all the early voting that this country has had in the lifetime of the country.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that changes things, which is why we got to stop. What I think about this is you are right about the polling. Okay. I was trying to figure out, do I want to put money on the dog? Because I only bet on dogs anyway.
Yeah.
Do I want to put money on Trump to win or not? Because I want to give out. I didn't like the value. I thought plus 130 is way too small. Not worth it to me. It's a walk away. But my issue is this. I believe Biden's polling is exactly right. I believe where Biden is polling is exactly what he's going to get. Okay. The problem is the Trump numbers. All the Trump numbers are wrong and they're depressed. They're all lower than they're going to be. But how high can they go? Because they got to go real high to flip this thing. But they are capable of going high. And that's what you have to remember. I think all the polling for Biden is exactly what I think that's his ceiling. But his ceiling right now is a lot higher polling wise than what Trump is. And also all these people who do these polls know they got bamboozled 4 years ago. They know that. So you got to think they're not just polling the exact same way they used to poll. I mean, that they're living in a different day and age. They've got to be better at their jobs today than they were 4 years ago.
You would hope so, right? Now, I think part of that might be the fact that they aren't getting the actual people that are going out and voting.
Yes.
But that's a lot of it. Lawrence jumps in. He said, you can't listen to this ish. This boy talks on politics. Talking about you.
Oh, that's Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I can understand
Lawrence is a moron. That's okay.
It's all good. We all love Lawrence. Good gracious. All right, Kyle said Trump is like the Steelers. You don't want them to win, but they still keep winning. Lonzo said they say the same thing about the college football playoffs. Pennsylvania goes Biden, not sure about Ohio. Matt said the founders were smart enough that they created the government so the president doesn't have a lot of power. I'm from Ohio. Biden is not winning Ohio. Joseph said depends on who swings. Pennsylvania, California, and even Texas is up for grabs. California is not up for grabs. And I don't believe Texas. I don't believe Texas is up for grabs. I
don't know about that. I know California's not.
Yeah, California and New York will always be red. Blue, excuse me. They will always be blue. That's just the way it is. Casey asked, I heard the most Google searches lately has been, can I change my vote? What do you think about that?
This was the problem with getting everybody out to vote early.
Yes.
Is if you actually want to consider this thing, let's wait until closer to the election day.
Yes.
But sending your vote in 2 months ago when the whole world can be in a different place in 2 months, that I just think that's foolish, and I don't even think it's responsible for us to allow people to do that.
I agree.
Now, I'm not saying you have to do it on election day and that's the only day you can do it. I understand there are mitigating circumstances that don't allow that, and that's fine. 2-3 months. I mean, people were sending in votes early September. That can't be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Too much new information can happen.
Well, you haven't even seen a debate.
A debate at that point. That's right. You could vote before you had debates. We just can't. I mean, you could be the parent or the son or daughter of one of these people, and still you're not allowed. You gotta wait.
Matt Miller said also early voting tends to favor Democrats, and they only have a significant lead in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Michael said you should have all the debates and then allow them to start voting. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with
I
starting
agree
the
with
debates
that. I
early.
mean, listen, even if you did early voting 2 weeks beforehand, that's all you need. That's all the time you need.
Yeah. All right, so here are our toss-up states per realclearpolitics.com. Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Iowa, Arizona, Nevada, Texas, Maine, and Nebraska, or Maine CD2 and Nebraska CD2, whatever the hell that is. I gotta tell you. First off, I don't think this is going to be done on election night. Like, I don't think it's going to be close. Joseph Gomez said, "Remember when it really doesn't matter if you're tagged as Democrat or Republican because both sides had to come to the table and meet in the middle. Hopefully, whoever wins doesn't forget who they actually work for." Yeah, that's what you would hope. That's really what you would hope.
Well, they all know who they work for. They all work for the corporations that pay for them.
This is true.
Which I know you all are fans of one or the other. They both have the same bosses.
Yeah, it's all kind of.
Just in case you're wondering, Halliburton ain't going anywhere. Big Pharma ain't going anywhere. Big Insurance ain't going anywhere. All these people that pay for them, they're still in charge.
Andres said, "Gary, do you think it will be lopsided?" I think the popular vote will be. Like, I think the popular vote will be significantly in the favor of the Democrats. So if you want to go get those odds, you can get the popular vote for Democrats minus 700. So if you want to put down $700 to win back 100, then you can do that. But to me, that's not worth it. Like, the Republicans are not going to win the popular vote. It's just not going to happen. I think it is going to be more than a week before we actually have a winner in this, because I think it's going to be crazy. I think the next week is going to be absolutely insane. Andres said, "How about the electoral?" No, I do not believe it will be lopsided. I think it will be incredible.
You think we'll have a definitive winner?
I think we will. I think it's going to come down to like one swing state. I really do. I think it's going to be insanely close. It'll either be Ohio or Pennsylvania. One of those will be the swing state that ends up deciding this thing. That's how I feel about it. So,
okay.
If I had to lean one way or the other, like, there's just been I think that I would put money on Trump to win, if only because I think there are more people excited about voting for him as opposed to other people that are excited about voting against him. Right? I think it's easier to get people riled up to go vote for you as opposed to go vote against somebody. Like, and maybe I'm crazy for that, but that's the way that I see it. Like, I mean, we saw Bill Clinton get people riled up to go vote against George H. back in 1996, was it? I believe that's when it was. That's the way that I feel about this, because I don't know that anybody is really excited about Joe Biden. I think more people are excited about Trump. And in a situation like that, I would have to side with the guy that people are actually excited about. So, Lawrence said, "How do you feel about Tuberville being the Alabama senator?" Sure. Whatever you want to do, Tubby. Like, I'm good with it. Like, it doesn't matter to me. He's going to win, and he's going to win in a landslide. I don't care.
And the Democratic Alabama Democratic Senator Twitter page is just the best page. It's the best follow in the world.
Yes.
That is the greatest troll job in an election I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, Doug Jones is that Democratic Alabama senator. Yes.
But he's not the one running that Twitter page. It's a different Twitter page that's going after him.
It's Alabama Democrats, and
I was about to say, and it is the most entertaining troll job I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yes,
if you want to laugh at the expense of Tommy Tuberville.
That's your follow.
Go find them and read them.
Andres said, "Bush, Al Gore all over again." Yeah, I think it will be similar to that.
Man, I hope not.
It won't be Florida.
I hope not, just for the sake of just sanity and whatever.
And of course, now Trump has got he's put 3 in the Supreme Court, so it's a little bit lopsided as far as conservatives to good gracious, conservatives liberals. To liberals. So That's the way that I see this going. I can foresee Trump winning this very close, and it is what it is. So, do you have an election prediction?
I don't. I mean, if I I don't. I really don't. I gotta think the polls are better than they were 4 years ago, but I still don't trust them. So, which means if the polls are right now, that means Biden in a landslide. That's not. I don't foresee that happening. But I think they're going to be a lot closer than what they were 4 years ago.
Yeah. Michael Fritz said both sides already have lawyers all over the country. Yeah, it's going to be insane.
Oh, yeah.
Lawrence
That's
said,
our tax dollars at work, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Our tax dollars are going to go to sue one another.
Lawrence said Trump will win all 50 states. Matt Miller said get ready for the rioting. And Andrew said Trump money line is the play, but I think Biden wins. Biden backdoor covers. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to bet, like, I wouldn't bet on Biden at minus 170. Like, that's just crazy. Like, if I'm going to bet at all on this, it would be the Trump plus 130 because it's, you know, it's voting culture like the NFL refs rigged. KCK said, give me Clemson, Georgia, and Trump money line. Yeah, all right, I can get with it. I don't know about that Georgia pick, but, you know, I'll roll with it. So, let's see. 17 Clippers said Trump to win Florida and Texas. I think with Florida and Texas,
I don't think winning Florida and Texas it would shock anybody.
No, and I believe he's actually the favorite in both of those.
I would be shocked if he wasn't the favorite in both of them.
In Florida, Republican candidate is minus 170. In Texas, I'm trying to find Texas, and I can't get to it. Texas is. Let's see, Tennessee is minus 6,000. Yeah, Texas Republican candidate is minus 350. So Texas and Florida, that's going to go Republican. So you can bet on all the states and which way they're going to go. I mean, you go over and find your books, and I'm telling you, SBRpicks.com/NCAAF has got all the offshore books that you need. So go do yourself that favor. Michael said the only guarantee is regardless of who wins, everyone still has to get up and go to work. That's 100% true.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. And we got to all be cool. We got to be good to one another.
Yes.
No matter if this thing goes your way or not your way. I've never voted for a winner in my life. Okay. It's all right.
You know what it is. All right. Everything will work out just fine.
It's all right. I got a pretty damn all right life. Okay.
I'll go ahead and tell you this. Again, the most important thing, go out and vote and make sure you vote in your local elections because those are the ones that can adjust the way that your life is going in your city. So vote in your local elections. Good gracious. I can't say it loud enough, Chris. I don't know if hopefully everybody hears.
Those are a million times more to your everyday life than anything that happens in Washington. But yes. I'm telling you, we're not making decisions in Washington. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on.
Yeah.
You're just not. Call your state representative. They don't give a damn what you say. They're going to call Jeff Bezos, and he's going to tell them what to do.
You are correct. You are correct. All right, let's move off of that. Let's talk about Dan Mullen for just a minute. The SEC fines and reprimands Florida coach Dan Mullen for his role in on-field brawl with Missouri. Now, if you listened to our podcast exclusive college football recap on Sunday or this morning, whichever one, we kind of knew this was coming. We talked about the brawl between Missouri and Florida for just a little bit and discussed the late hit and all that good stuff. Look, the late hit was just a typical run-of-the-mill. Yes, it was dirty, but it wasn't anything crazy. He didn't try and kill him. He didn't try and take him out. It was just a late hit. If you are the head coach at Florida, you have got to reel in that emotion, and you got to teach your boys to do that as well, right? Get your guys to harness all of that and then take it out on Georgia next week. But now they have got multiple guys that are going to be out. Let's see, defensive lineman Zachary Carter, linebacker Antoine Powell were ejected for the remainder of the game, and Missouri outside linebacker Trey Williams was ejected for a flagrant unsportsmanlike conduct foul. So along with that, they will be out for the first half of next week. In addition to that, Florida did not have anybody else that got suspended. The SEC office issued a half-game suspension for Missouri linebacker Chad Bailey, offensive lineman Dylan Spencer, and defensive lineman Markel Utsi for fighting action during the altercation. Each will miss the first half of Missouri's game against Georgia on November 14th, which follows a Missouri open date this weekend. And Mullen got a $25,000 fine for his role in this. Now, if you watched him, he went out and he ran right past the referees and started yelling at Missouri players and coaches. So he had a little bit to do with this altercation.
Oh, he incited this thing.
Yes.
He instigated it. He started this thing. Dan started it. I know the late hit started it. That's what he was upset about. But no, that's something that happened on the field between two people competing against one another.
Well, let's talk about the fact that it was $25,000, which is the exact same amount that Lane Kiffin was fined for a tweet about officials.
Me off. The SEC commission office are just a bunch of spineless cowards, and they don't know how to separate themselves from those they are close to. Greg Sankey is a Florida boy, okay? That's what he is. That's where he came from, all right? And when he had an opportunity to give Florida a massive leg up in the Florida LSU rivalry in game stake, he absolutely took it, all right? And now Lane Kiffin retweeted a tweet on Twitter. He pushed a button on his phone that retweeted something funny about the SEC office and the officials. $25,000. This dude incited a brawl in which people started throwing haymakers. And that is the same as pushing a button on your phone, you bunch of cowardice pussies. That's what they are.
I know you're going to get fired up about this. It's why I wanted to bring it up.
I hate them.
It's
I hate
insane.
them all. They have no backbone. They have no spine whatsoever. Oh, you send a mean tweet about us. How dare you? That's the exact same response as somebody who incites on a field in the middle of a game, Gary.
I know.
This is in the middle of their televised game.
Now, I will say this. I'm sure they are glad that it was on SEC Network Alternate because nobody was watching. Nobody even saw this until the stuff got posted to Twitter and it started going around, right? I understand, not going crazy with it, but also, it has to be a much more significant penalty than this.
Listen, you don't want it to go crazy. You shouldn't have hit Lane for $25K, all right?
Yeah.
Because that's the bar. That's the first coach that we have fined this year, and that's now the bar you set for retweeting something funny, making fun of you, all right? So now this dude incites a brawl, starts a riot in the damn stadium. It's the same fine, it's the same penalty.
I think if that is the same penalty,
if I was Lane Kiffin right now, I'd be on the phone with attorneys, and I would be suing the shit out of this office.
I don't know what he would sue over.
Just to tie him up in the courts, just to be a dick.
DFH Bachelor wanted to jump in and let you know that he is not forgotten about y'all Steelers bet. By the way,
that's fine. How the Eagles looking?
He said, "How about them Steelers?" So okay. The Eagles one. Yeah, no,
we're gonna push on whatever we bet because neither one of us can remember that. But I remember I had the Eagles and I had the Steelers being bad. I'm right on one. I'm wrong on one. That's fine.
Oh yeah, no, that's at the end of the day. 500 in those bets works out perfectly fine. Works out fine. So with that said, Florida, Georgia this weekend looks like it's going to be a little bit crazy. Florida, I kind of thought there would be more guys that were suspended for this weekend.
No, they got two, and neither one of them are major players. So
yeah, and that was it. So Florida looks to be in a little bit better shape than Georgia because, man, Georgia got some injuries.
Let me ask you this. Ooh. Let's say Florida has Vanderbilt coming up this week because you know the chicanery and the bullshit that these conference offices do. Is there any way they suspend Dan for a game, knowing that this doesn't hurt the SEC by suspending Dan for the Vanderbilt game?
No. I don't think they
I would. But I get the double standard here. You can't suspend him for the cocktail party. Jesus, is the biggest game in the East.
Yeah, I get that, but I also, I don't know what you would do.
I'd suspend his ass.
Maybe.
Or I got to fine him $100K. That's the option.
See, I think they should have fined him $100K anyway.
I don't see. You can't fine him the same amount you fine somebody who retweeted somebody making fun of you.
I will say this. I think that this does not do anything to curtail that type of behavior going forward. I think this is not going to stop Dan from acting that way going forward. It's $25K. He makes over $5.5 million a year. Like,
this isn't going to stop him from anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is
it's not going to stop any of these coaches from anything. But
it's just ridiculous.
You can't find one person the same as another when one person in the middle of your national televised game incites a brawl and the other guy retweeted something making fun of you. Like, those two things can't be treated the same.
Agreed. Michael, by the way, jumps in. Total BS that it even comes into play. Wrong is wrong. Consistency is all we want.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just make it consistent. Like a Lane Kiffin tweet is not the same. And I get that it wasn't just the tweet. It was what he said in his press conference along with that and whatever. And all they said was it was because of the tweet. But it was more than that. Like, I get it. But,
and that's in a situation in which they actually agree with Lane.
Yeah, they were actually
They just
in the wrong.
didn't like Lane saying it to the public.
So the other side of this is I doubt there's anything in the SEC bylaws about inciting a brawl. I doubt there's anything about that.
They never would have imagined a coach doing it.
I agree.
And so now you get to make up whatever the damn rule you want.
McKinnon said, only way to curtail that behavior is major fine or major suspension. Anything short is a slap on the wrist for dudes that make as much as SEC coaches.
Yep, that's the problem is the fines do nothing. Even at $100K, he doesn't do it. He doesn't give a shit.
Cruz Madrid said, I'm taking Dan on a 4-team teaser destroying the SEC office. Yeah, if we could bet on that, 100%. Damian said, hell, if that was the case, the NFL should fine and suspend Dak and Zeke for partying during a pandemic lockdown. Now, I think there were some repercussions for that. I believe it was handled in-house, though. It wasn't the NFL. It was Dallas that did it. Like, it was the Cowboys. So, either way, it doesn't matter now. Everybody's fine. No issues. So, is what it is. Let's go ahead and get into our NFL recap for the weekend. Sound good?
Yeah, we're about an hour in. Let's get started.
Yeah, well, we're 36 minutes in, and we're not that bad. We did okay. About 10 minutes
That's
on
fine.
each topic.
I don't care, by the way. I have nothing else to do tonight. So
hopefully nobody else does as well. All right, we'll start with the noon slate on Sunday. Now, some of these games not worth talking about.
Let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. Let's get into the big game.
Bills 24, Patriots 21.
No, that's not where we're starting. Let's start with the Steelers.
Oh, you want to start with the Steelers?
Let's just fucking get it over with. Let's go.
Okay. Steelers 28, Ravens 24. This was 17-7 Ravens at the half, and Steelers come out, score 14 points in the third quarter, take that lead back. They end up pushing in the fourth quarter. Lamar had a chance there at the end. I got to tell you, I feel like in these big games, he somewhat plays a little more tight. And I understand, like, the Steelers have one hell of a defense, right? I still don't buy into the numbers. Like, the Ravens completely outgained the Steelers in every possible way that you could do it. The turnovers was the biggest thing. Like, this was Oklahoma State, Texas all over again. I mean, the Ravens had 457 total yards, had 5.8 yards per play. The Steelers, 221 yards, 4.4 yards per play. They outgained them rushing the football 265-48 and lost the game. And that's what 4 turnovers to 1 will do for you. So I think that Lamar plays a little tight in these games. He's had 3 big games since last year's playoffs. He had the game against the Titans. He had the game against the Chiefs earlier this year, and then he had the game against the Steelers here. And he has not looked good in any of them. Is there a reasonable explanation other than maybe he's getting into his own head, or our defense is catching up, at least good defense is catching up to what he's doing?
No, I don't think they're catching up to what he's doing because he was still able to do a whole lot. They just caught him making a couple of mistakes. I mean, he just made some mistakes, and they took advantage of it. So I'm going to address the elephant in the room, which is me. All right, I'm going to address this. There are 2 things that I ask for in life that I demand of myself, and I demand of other people, by the way. I usually get disappointed when expecting it from other people. 1 is personal accountability, and 2 is consistency. All right. I will consistently say all the time, especially we talk a lot more college football than the NFL. I will consistently say, I don't care how good your team is. I need to see your record and I need to see your resume. Okay. Last year, very good example. Yes, Alabama was one of the best teams that we have ever seen play football in college football. Yeah, pipe down 14, all right? You didn't beat a single ranked team all year. You played 2 of them, that's it, and you got beat by both of them. And so while I know Alabama is up here, you belong down here. You don't even belong to be ranked because you didn't play anybody good and beat them the whole year. And other people had better resumes than you. So at some point in time, your resume has to speak for itself. Regardless of what I know about the team, the resume has to speak for itself. And where the Steelers are now, they have to be considered one of the best teams in football, if not the best team in football, because they're the only undefeated team left. Okay? But I'm going to tell you this. I watched that game. In the entire first half, they got across the 50-yard line one time, and it was because they got 2 15-yard penalties, 30 yards in penalties, and then subsequently 2 plays later, sack, now back behind the 50 and punting again. All right? So I know this team is their resume says they're good. They're good. The resume says that they belong at the top of the heap. They are. My eyes are telling me something different every game I watch them. They see your mistakes and they capitalize so well on them. But if you don't make mistakes, I don't know how they're beating people. And you and I go back and forth all the time. I'm the one giving the team the benefit of the doubt for taking those mistakes, making you make those mistakes. But I don't think they made Lamar make the mistake. Like, he wasn't running for his life and, like, threw the ball away and they picked it off or whatever. Like, he just threw bad passes, but the pocket was clean. The receiver was open. He just underthrew it or overthrew it or threw behind somebody, and the DB was there, which they made a hell of a play on it. That's great. So I give them the credit that they deserve. I think they are one of the best teams in football. You can't get to 8-0 and not be. You just can't. It's not allowed. You have to be the best team in football if you're 8-0. And nobody is close to 8-0. Everybody else has had bad games. My eyes are still telling me I don't trust this team, and I don't trust Big Ben. I just don't. That guy had 2 drives the entire game. All those offensive skill weapons, and they drove the field 75 yards twice. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, you're 100% right. It's why I have not been sold on them as of yet. I mean, I bet against them. I bet against them with the Titans. And I bet on them this go-round, but that was only because I was catching 4 points. So you catching 4 points, it feels like a field goal game. It always is between these two. You know, that's what I expected. And it ended up, 28-24, about a field goal game.
No, it's all, and that's where these two teams are always going to finish. Yes. That's just the right play. It's the right play every time.
So as far as team efficiency, which you can find over at Football Outsiders, this has not been updated for this week yet.
He's the man.
What did Kyle say? I trust him on my field, but not around my sister. Good God Almighty.
Listen, everything, all the trash you talk about me is all forgiven. That's fine.
There you go. As far as team efficiency goes, Tampa Bay, number 1, so with offense and defense.
Defense.
Baltimore, number 2. Pittsburgh, 3. Kansas City, 4. Indianapolis, 5. New Orleans, 6. The Rams, 7. San Francisco, 8. Seattle, 9. And Green Bay, 10. So, it's about what you would expect. Like, the Steelers are incredibly efficient. They have not dominated anybody, but they find ways to win ball games. And
they do find ways to win ball games.
And we are expecting
how much of that do we just put on Mike Tomlin?
I think Tomlin is an absolutely incredible coach.
So I do too.
Incredible.
I do too. And I know this is Whitey McWhiteman here talking, all right? But like, he's now the winningest African-American coach in like the NFL history. Yeah. Like, he's one of the winningest coaches in history, period. Lump him in with everybody because the man can coach.
Oh, he's unbelievable. I think they said that because he passed Tony Dungy. So.
Yes, and celebrate that because we don't have enough of those guys getting those opportunities, and we talk about that, all right?
Yes.
But I understand why they single it out, because he did pass a great coach in Tony, who he learned under, but he ain't nothing like Tony. Tony is a calm, fatherly. I didn't have a dad, but just a calming figure. And Tomlin is a fiery figure.
Yes, he is.
And I hate the Steelers because I've grown up hating the Steelers. but
Well, I mean, you're a
he's really
Patriots
hard. He's
and a Browns
really
fan.
hard to not like.
Yeah,
I mean, he's really hard to not like. That's right.
And
it's easy to like.
And you're a fan of Lamar Jackson. So, like,
I am
literally
a big fan of Lamar
every
Jackson.
team that you are a fan of, Lamar Jackson with the Ravens, the Browns, and the Patriots, all hate the Steelers.
And Joseph Burrow now.
And Joseph Burrow. So now Cincinnati, I mean, all your guys.
I now
totally
have everybody in this division but them.
Yes. Now, you are correct about that.
I'll tell you this. I'll throw my Browns away right now for Joseph Burrow. I would chunk Baker Mayfield into the lake tomorrow for Joseph Burrow.
Yes. Let's get through some of these comments right quick.
Right.
Let's see. 17 Clipper, bong rips, pizza, and football. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Matt Miller, Chris has to get on OnlyFans and upload some content now. Yeah, I can believe that. Andres Morales, how about them Steelers? KCK, I had Steelers money line. Lamar's trash. I don't think he's trash, but either way. McKinnon said, Chris rolling up his sleeves like he's about to go full-on fisticuffs over the Steelers. Terry said, Chris taking that medicine like a big boy. Damian said, Lamar 2020. Andres said, and I don't want to hear how Pittsburgh didn't play well, that the Steelers won because Lamar didn't play well. I mean, it's true. Andres said, Steelers defense created the turnovers. Okay. I mean,
I normally, and you can add, we don't do these fights on the show. I argue with Gary all the time when he talks about how a team always gave the other team opportunities. And I say, no, that team took those opportunities. But I watched every snap of that game. Lamar did not throw a single interception under duress.
No.
Like that's the problem is I would normally give you that. If he's under duress, then you created the turnover. If he's got a clean pocket and he just threw the ball to the wrong jersey, your guy had to catch it and make a play on the football. That's great, and I appreciate that, and I respect that in the game. You didn't do anything to get it. He just gave it to you.
Agreed.
Those are different things. Mad respect, you're 8-0. You don't get 8-0 for being lucky. You just don't.
Which, honestly, this performance by Lamar looked very Baker Mayfield-ish.
No, come on now. That's bullshit. I'm not gonna stand for that.
He made bad throws.
I'm not gonna stand for that, Gary.
Okay.
No. I mean, Baker Mayfield is a bottom 25 quarterback.
Good gracious.
That's the facts.
Just killing you, boy.
That's the truth.
Just killing you, boy. Michael said, I think Lamar was hyped up a little too much too fast. He's got a long way to go to be elite. That is probably true.
And you gotta remember, he is young. He's still like 6 months younger than Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane.
I mean, he's really young as an adult growing up.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. Alonzo Chico, Chris going to need to take his blood medication. Take it easy, my dude.
No, I'm good. I promise.
17 Clipper
okay.
said, Rams had me tight Sunday. Yeah, that's true. We'll talk about that one here in a second.
Oh, God.
Casey, Colin Cowherd said he would rather have Burrow than Lamar. I totally agree.
Listen, there's not a quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes that we were starting franchises with that I would take before Joe.
True. Andres said
he is number 2.
Because last year Lamar didn't play well against the Steelers when Devlin and Mason were playing. Chris said, let's go, Chris. I'm awake now. Let's go call him out. Damian said, well, let me get my popcorn. Matt said, you were going to see this more often. Great defense against great offense is different now. If you play great offense, you just have to play bend, but don't break defense and make them kick field goals or force turnovers. Yes, 100%. We've talked about that.
And that's football now.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, he's 100% right. That is football today.
Yes.
Bend, but don't break. If you're looking at how many yards a team gave up, you throw all those stats in the garbage, man.
Yes.
You're going to give up big plays. You're going to give up yards. It's an offensive world. The great defenses give up 3 points instead of 7. That's saving 4 points.
Yes.
Or they get turnovers, and that's saving everything and giving your team another shot at the ball.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Matt Miller, great offenses are going to put up yards. See Clemson versus Alabama 2018. Casey said Lamar blew the game. That's why I bet on it. James Lill trying to jump in and get me fired up said Tua is not good. Tua's little brother was balling, though. Alonzo Chico said that. Let's see. James Lill asking about Clemson +2. Look, if you can find a +2, good gracious.
Nope. You tease it down to 2.
Yep. Let's see. 17 Clipper. Will Hernandez out tonight, right? Is he out tonight? I have no idea. I don't know.
Somebody say you can't take Burrow over Russell with the age that those guys are. I would take Burrow over Russell if I was starting a franchise right now. I would. You got a chance of winning immediately with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's been in the league for a while, and I know that he says he wants to play till he's 45 because Tom says he wants to play till he's 45. All these boys ain't playing till they're 45. There's one Thomas Brady.
KCK, Mike Tomlin is third behind Belichick and Reed.
Yes,
yeah, I think
that's definitive too. I don't think that's negotiable or debatable. None of the other coaches that are great have been doing it long enough to give us any kind of real track record.
Matt Miller said, "I think the Steelers are just the best franchise in the NFL." You agree with that? I mean, don't get maybe over time.
Oh, well, but I mean, you're talking 150 years. Okay, I mean, all right, that's really hard to gauge or judge.
Well, I mean, it hadn't been 150. It's been I guess it kind of had. Yeah, 100 years.
It was 100 years last year.
I mean, that is hard to judge, I guess.
I mean, you're talking about a team that just has been to 9 Super Bowls in 20 years. That's kind of hard to argue with, but okay.
Tomlin has never had a losing season. That's wild.
That is wild.
Yeah, you're right about that.
No, Tomlin is elite. Tomlin is elite at every aspect of it, and he should be commended for all of the good things that he does as a coach. I think that's why they win so many close games. I'll tell you this: I just don't have any respect. My hatred for the Steelers is not just that I grew up a Browns fan, and the Steelers and the Patriots kind of always had a rivalry. My fandom for Lamar started when Lamar went to the Ravens. Before then, I loathed the Ravens even more than the Steelers, if you can imagine that. And I never cared about the Bengals at all until Joe got there. I forgot where I was going with that.
Here, how about answer this? Kyle Shook said, "Who's your Super Bowl pick as of right now?"
I think the Seahawks.
You think the Seahawks and the Chiefs?
Oh, I thought he was just asking for a winner.
Well, so you think
picks? Oh no. You know what? No,
Casey said Chiefs beat the Bucs.
I think the Chiefs lose to the Bucs.
Okay, I can get down with it.
I don't see anybody else in the AFC that looks great.
I don't either. So, DFS Bachelor said Will Hernandez is out tonight. So, there you go. Mark 1, hi, boys, Notre Dame, Clemson, and South Bend. He asked what we think.
Tomorrow.
Hey, tomorrow's show on the Sportsbook Review YouTube page. Go make sure you are subscribed. 6:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Not the Steelers. No, neither one of us think this team is going to make it to the Super Bowl. No. Neither one of us think this team is going to win 3 wild card games or 3 playoff games. I just don't.
Let's get off of this. Let's go through the rest of this Sunday slate.
Okay.
Let's dive in.
We can go kind of quick on all these.
We can. There was nothing that was massive here. Bills 24, Patriots 21. This was a closer than expected game, at least for me. I know that you thought this was the kitchen sink game, and it came down to a Cam Newton fumble at the end. I mean, these are your boys. Thoughts?
They're bad. They're not good.
Damian Harris has shown up here lately.
Huh?
Damian Harris has shown up here lately.
Yeah, congratulations. I think the same year they drafted Damian Harris, they also spent a number 1 draft pick on a running back. So that was a good use of that resources.
Right.
Yeah, we could have used a wide receiver. Were there any good wide receivers in that class? I can't remember.
I want to say there were about 10.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Maybe more.
I'm just checking. I'm just trying to. Sometimes I can't get in Bill's head. Oh yeah, that draft class. We also had 2 first-round picks.
Hey, McKinnon said, "Put Stid in the damn game." Hey, it wouldn't matter. There are no wide receivers.
Listen, that doesn't help your argument for Stidham being good. If Stidham played right now, he would look awful, and then he might not ever get. He's gonna get Josh Rosen.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it goes.
The best thing that could happen to Stidham is he pulls something in practice, and he never gets in any of these games. And y'all just let Cam take it.
No, you're right about that. All right, so the Bills, of course, moved to 6-2, while the Patriots are 2-5. That is, they've got a significant lead in the AFC East. We will say that. Yeah. Titans and the Bengals. Titans go up to Cincy and get it handed to them with 4 practice squad offensive linemen. This is just unbelievable what Burrow is doing with this team. And it's not like they're good, but they are showing up every single week. He covers the spread every single week. Just unbelievable.
He's just an angel sent from heaven, Gary. He just
You got
is.
them heart eyes.
They never trailed in this game at all. He
they
dominated this Titans team that was undefeated up until last week.
We called this though. Like we totally called this last Wednesday. The Titans played down to the level of competition. They have been through a gauntlet, and we knew this. Like it wasn't that hard to see.
I want to address the 4 offensive linemen. All right, so they don't have a single offensive lineman starting where they start normally right now, okay? Not one. That Titans defense didn't get a sick. I was worried about Joe Burrow's health.
They've only got 7 sacks on the year.
They didn't get a single pass rush on him, not sack.
I know.
Pass rush. That's bad, dude. That's bad. This is a good football team, but in the NFL, if you don't make the quarterback move, they will cut you apart. I mean, outside of Baker Mayfield, they're going to all pick you apart.
Yeah, no, that's true. DFS Bachelor said Titans' lowest sack rate in the NFL. Yeah, I mean, they're awful. They cannot get to the quarterback. KCK said, you called Bengals +6, not domination. Well, no, I didn't expect domination, but I didn't
expect domination.
I know that the Titans played down to the level of competition, and it wasn't out of the realm of possibility. Like, that they could end up losing this game and quite handily because they do this every year.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you give Joe Burrow all day to pick you apart, he is going to pick your ass apart.
Yes.
He's a really good quarterback.
Damian is so behind on this conversation. He said Belichick is overrated. He's just trying to stir you up, man.
That's fine.
So, well, let's try and stir you up a little more.
9 Super Bowls in 20 years. Yeah. His team's a lot better than that, I'm sure.
And I did just see this come across. DFS Bachelor, our buddy Kyle, that runs the not runs, but is a major, significant portion of. I'm going to say Donnie runs it, but Kyle is the star.
Don't stand for that, Kyle.
No, Kyle's the star. The same way you're the star of this show. I kind of run it, but you're the star. Kyle is the star of the NFL stuff.
I'm about to yell at my dog. Hey!
Over at sbrpicks.com/NFL. So go check those guys out. Make sure you're watching what they do. They do a live stream for Monday Night Football, so make sure you go and check those boys out. They are fantastic. Casey said, Joe Burrow's good, but come on now. He had high school kids playing O-line. Yeah, I know.
Hang on. That's even better for him. The fact that he had high school kids playing O-line, and he cut this Titans team up.
Matt Miller something said, Chris is the talent.
Oh, y'all are using the word talent pretty loosely. We need Damian to come back in and shit on me to bring my ego back down a little bit.
Yeah. So Kyle mentioned Titans added Desmond King today. Huge upgrade in the slot. Yeah. I think so.
Yes.
I think so. And so let's go. Raiders 16, Browns 6. You called this. I was wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Baker Mayfield is terrible. This is a bad defense against the Raiders. This Raiders defense is bad, right? We all think they're barely average at best defensively, correct?
Pretty much.
They scored two field goals. They only were in field goal range 3 times, and out of those 3 attempts are in range, they only had 1 shot at the end zone. The whole game.
And somehow, because of that Browns defense, this game was 6-6 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and then finally the defense falls apart because they can't stay on the field all that time. Yeah. Baker is bad. It's time for somebody in the front office to realize that, walk him out to pasture, put the blinds on his head, and put a bullet in him. This is what you do with the horse that's useless.
Baker, 6 carries for 29 yards, and he was 12 of 25 for 122 yards passing. Not good stuff. Not good stuff. When your completion percentage is below 50%, that ain't no way to go. Colts 41.
Against a bad defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Colts 41, Lions 21. Nothing to say about this. I mean, this was domination. Vikings.
Kenny Golladay was shut down in this game. Yeah. That shocked me.
Yeah.
Vikings, I thought this was high scoring. Go ahead.
Vikings 28 and the Packers 22. This was a little bit crazy.
There's no world in which I saw this happening.
5.1 yards per rush for the Vikings in this game. Dalvin Cook had himself a day.
He's a freak.
And the Packers outgained the Vikings. Now, they had 1 turnover in the game, but there's no reason why this should have been 28-14 going into the fourth quarter. I mean, it was 14-14 at the half, but I didn't see this coming. Like I thought the Vikings
so
were
I saw
tanking.
a stat today. So people were telling me, Galladay, I didn't watch 1 minute of that game. There were a lot of games going on Sunday. So I just have a shitload of Galladay on almost every fantasy team that I own. And it didn't work out for me.
He had a hip injury.
That's what Kyle just pointed out. And a couple other people hit it too. What game are we talking about? Oh, the
Lions Colts or
Lions?
Vikings?
Nope, not the Lions Colts.
Packers.
Vikings. Kirk Cousins averaged over 11 yards a pass, right?
Yeah.
You know what his air yards were per pass? It was like 1.1 something.
Air yards per pass. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
He literally drops the ball off to somebody 5 feet from him, and they run for 40 yards.
That is all on the Packers defense. I mean,
but that like this game made you think, oh, it's like if you're just looking at box scores, you think, oh, Kirk Cousins had himself a game. No, he didn't. Let's not give this son of a bitch any credit. He's not any good. You take him out to that same pasture with Baker and hit him in the head with a shovel too. He's trash.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Mark Wynn said, "Go Chucky Raiders, nice stadium. You guys get a chance to see. Hadn't been out there yet, but I do want to go out and
if
see
they'll
it.
let people in, my ass would be on the first thing smoking right now. I am getting cabin fever, Gary. I'm emotionally, I'm not doing okay. I need to get the hell out of here.
What's going on with are you doing Chicago?
Chicago's gone. They shut it down. They shut it all down. Canceled it all.
I didn't know if the governor had completely shut down Chicago.
Shut it all down. Had airfare, everything paid for. I was ready to roll. I was going to be there next weekend.
What happens with the airfare now?
I got it back. What do you mean?
Oh, I didn't know if you could get it back. I didn't know if I thought.
Come on, I'm no fool. I don't buy non-refundable shit. I'm not a dummy. I mean, I'm a moron, but I'm not that big of a moron. I'm pretty good with money.
Speaking of morons, fantastic transition into our buddy Adam Gase. 35-9, the Chiefs beat the Jets, and he's still got a job. I guess that's good. I ripped this off from Kevin Clark. Okay, it's not an original idea of mine. Okay.
Kevin Clark of The Ringer. It's the first person I ever heard say this. They cannot fire him. He is their number one asset right now.
Yes.
Because there's like 9 teams with 1 win. They have to stay winless. If they get 1 win, they're in the world's weirdest circle jerk of paper, rock, scissors for the number 1 pick. You don't want to be there. So he is their most valuable asset. You keep trucking him out there, and you keep getting the L.
Now you're right about that. You were right about that. The Rams go to Miami and get it handed to them, 28-17. It was 21-10, or 28-10 at the half, and it was not because of Tua. Tua did not look good.
Tua's numbers were bad.
12 out of 22, 93 yards, 1 touchdown, but they didn't need anything else. They got a punt return touchdown. They got an interception return touchdown.
Fumble return for a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean,
I think they got 2 defensive touchdowns and the special teams.
Let's see. Yeah, I believe. Well, no, maybe it wasn't an interception return for a touchdown. So fumble return touchdown.
I saw the fumble. I witnessed that. So I just took your word for the interception.
So Myles Gaskin had did they have a kickoff return touchdown? They had 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, fumble return, and then the punt return, right?
The punt return.
Yeah. Okay. So we got it all.
28. You got 4.
They scored every which way that you could score.
Just about. Yep. And Goff looked bad.
See, what's crazy is he wasn't putrid. Like at 35 out of 60, if you were passing the ball 61 times in a game, and that Dolphins defense is not like terrible, 61 times, he had 355 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks.
But they're throwing all of those times because they found themselves down quickly.
Yes.
I mean, this was 14-0 from the jump.
This was absolutely. I mean, I had Dolphins +4, and I had a good amount of money on that.
Well, this is definitely a rocking chair game. You don't get those very often. I mean, the second this thing snapped, well, that ticket's good. Put that in the pocket and move on with your day.
Yeah, I mean, we 100% knew Rams on a short week got to travel cross country for an early game. Like that's rough. And then they played the Bears the week before.
There was a lot of storyline about this, and I guess I didn't think about it until right at kickoff. Maybe that's when I heard all those storylines from it. But Flores is that Rams offense looked unbeatable all year up until the Super Bowl when they played the Patriots, and it was Flores and Bill's defense that
shut them down.
I mean, they were averaging 35 points a game. And then they got to the Super Bowl and they just couldn't find the end zone to save their life. And it was pretty shocking and kind of weird because it was so different than what we had seen 17 games beforehand.
Yeah.
And or 18 games, whatever it was. And yeah, I was kind of shocked that Brian was able to do it again.
Yes, I agree.
I thought he would slow them down. I didn't think he would do this. I didn't see this level of domination.
Michael Fritz jumps in. Goff sucks. Herbert is the best quarterback in California. Hey, man, what about Jimmy G? What's going on with Jimmy G? Like, no love out there? Or Keaton Slovis? I mean,
well, Jimmy G is hurt right now. I don't even know that he might be out a little bit.
He's not playing this week. I don't believe.
I think he's out this week, and he might miss some time.
Yeah, that didn't look good against the Seahawks the other night. Damian said Packers are pissed letting Flores go now. I think
oh
you're
my
right.
God, could you imagine if Brian Flores was coaching a team with that kind of talent, that kind of power?
God. Yeah, I mean, 100%.
In a division where the offenses aren't real good anyway. Oh,
yep.
Jeez.
You were right about that.
Of course, I guess he's in that division now, though. Yeah. I mean, the offenses that he has to go up against are all terrible also. So,
Mark said he got to see the new sports book at Circa out in Vegas. He said it's the first new hotel since 1980 in downtown Vegas. Hey, have you seen the pictures of that place?
No, I haven't, but I am itching to get back. All I need are some shows to open up, make sure all the restaurants are open up, and I'm really on the first thing there. I just got to get the hell out of here.
No, I can understand that. Michael said Jimmy is out indefinitely. Kittle's out 8 weeks. Yeah, he has a fracture.
Yeah, Kittle's done for the regular season.
Yep, you're right about that.
We won't see him again unless they make the playoffs.
And then Casey said this is not Fresno State. So he's 100% right about that. Hey, Kalen DeBoer not doing so shabby out there. No. Let's see. Let's move to the afternoon games. Chargers get beat on the last play of the game by the Denver Broncos, 31-30. And boy, it was not Herbert's fault. 29 out of 43 passing, 278 yards, 3 touchdowns. Herbert looked pretty good. The Broncos were not able to do anything until the second half. They were down, was it 21-3 at one point in this game? It was 14-3 at the half.
They were down by, I thought, 17.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty nuts. And Michael said, don't hate on the Valley. DFS said, best thing about Jimmy is his little black book. You got that right. You 100% right. Got that right. So Broncos, get that win, and I think we've just kind of come to expect that against the Chargers. The Chargers find new ways to lose all the time.
I'm gonna rip another thing off from the ringer. I heard Bill Simmons this morning on his Sunday night podcast talk about Anthony Lynn, and it was either him or Cousin Sal. They're on the show together, and he had the argument that Anthony Lynn came out after the game, took responsibility for the game. You're up by 17, that sort of time left to go. Like, you got to win that game. And at one point in time, you just want to hear a coach say, look, I don't like this ain't on me. All right. We're up 17-0. You think these guys ain't never played football before? They know what the hell they're doing. This is on them. They can't tackle. They stop scoring. Like, what in the hell is going on? I got us a 17-point lead. I shouldn't have to carry the damn team the whole game. And I heard that and I thought, you know what? He's kind of right. He's kind of right. And why is it the coach's fault that we blew this 17-point lead? We whipped their ass for 50 minutes. We can't whip them 10 more minutes? Why is it always on the coach? It's never on the players that are out there sucking ass.
It's kind of, I mean, he's kind of got a point.
I mean, with that being said, Anthony Lynn's going to get fired for this because he's the new Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn got shot in the head, and now it's Anthony Lynn's turn.
You got that
All right. You're the new guy that's learning to find a way to lose games where we didn't think it was mathematically possible for you to lose games.
Casey's got he's got the right idea here. He said Chargers are the most talented bad team ever.
Let me tell you who's going to be the next coach of the Chargers. I'm really good at naming coaches for the next year. Really good at this.
All right.
Jimmy Harbaugh.
You think so?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I could probably go with that. Damien said, fire Nagy, please.
Hang on. No. I'd like to retract my statement. I would really like him, but you just can't write shit like that. I would really like him to go back to Chicago. It's,
That'd be good. That'd be good.
I think they're both going to be available to him.
Michael said, man, I thought Denver was on the verge of cleaning house. The Chargers threw him a lifeline. Did y'all want a lifeline?
Yeah, they need a lifeline. They got the same problem the Browns have. Locke ain't no damn good.
So I would have, at the beginning of this season, I would have been arguing with you about that. And I was.
Nope, don't.
I think you might be right.
You're
I don't
wrong.
think he's very good.
Him and Baker put their ass on the same plane and just let it take her down. Just hit a mountain with it.
Saints get a win in overtime over the Bears, 26-23, and that moves the Bears to 5-3. That is a long way away from that 5-1 where they started. So,
and they got a tough tilt against a reeling Titans team this week coming up.
Let's talk about the fight that happened in this game. Man, punching dudes in the helmet. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
But hang on, that dude he punched is the same dude Michael Thomas punched too. Like, you think this is one of Michael Thomas's boys? Like, do we know that kid that started that fight isn't friends with Thomas? Did they go to college together? I need to know that.
I don't think Wims went to college with Michael
What
Thomas.
do you think?
Maybe I'm
what
wrong.
do you think this guy does to make people want to punch him? Because so far, 2 people have punched him in 3 weeks.
Well, the play
one
before
has been a teammate, and one has been the other guy.
The play before it, he had stuck his finger in the guy's face mask.
In the face mask. I'm gonna tell you this: somebody puts their finger in the mask. I'm not waiting to play later. We're throwing hands that moment.
That's what I'm thinking. Casey
I'm biting that bastard off.
Casey said, "Dude pulled his mouthpiece down first, then decked him." Yeah, no, but he decked the helmet. Like,
but he hit him in the helmet. Hit him in the. I don't really know where when somebody's wearing all the pads that they're wearing. I mean, I guess the only place to really hit somebody is in the gut.
I guess, but
hit him in the gut, boy. You hit somebody in the body.
I got to tell you this: like, I hope that you would be Janoris Jenkins for me, because that dude came over the top and wrapped that guy. He wrapped up him so fast and jumped on him, pulled him down to the ground.
But I kind of think Jenkins is the kind of guy that. He looks like he never wants to be the guy to start the guy. He wants to be the elder statesman that's been around a while, but he's still got a little itch into him. Yeah. He's not afraid to be like, I'm going to break this up, but when I break this up, I'm breaking this up.
No, you're right about that. Michael said, look like NASCAR drivers punching with their helmets on. Bunch of idiots. Yeah. It's all you're doing is hurting yourself when you punch somebody in the face mask like that. Like
I don't understand that. I think it's one of the weirdest, dumbest things. And here's the thing, like, I wouldn't even kick those guys out for that. Like, you just hit him. Do you want him to keep playing? You want me to throw him out? Like, if you're toasting him all game, I'll let him stay in the game. I don't care.
DFS and Casey both jumped in and talked about Eric Bieniemy for that Chargers job. I think he's going to Houston, but maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think he's 100% getting a job.
Yeah,
but I also think the Lions job is going to come open, and I think a lot of people are going to call him.
It just depends on where he wants to go, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll get it. I do think he'll have a pick of a couple of places.
Drew Brees, again, very efficient numbers, can't throw downfield. We've talked about this over and over and over again. He is old, and he does not have the arm strength anymore. He was 31 out of 41, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. I would love to see what the air yards were on that, because it felt like a bunch of dink and dunks, The Bears'
offense was as putrid and disgusting and terrible as I've seen in a long time, and it took a last-second miracle field goal for the Saints to win this game. That's sad. That's sad.
It is.
Next week when they play the Bucs, they're gonna get their ass whipped.
It's they're 5-2. They're 5-2.
I understand. They've got a resume and they got a record, and that's fine. I'm telling you, that team does not look good at all. If you can score, you're gonna lose.
They have won 3 straight games by a field goal.
I know.
So, Sunday Night Football next week in Tampa, and then they got the 49ers after that. They got the Falcons, at the Broncos, at the Eagles, the Chiefs, Vikings, and at the Panthers. So, they'll be in the playoffs.
I think they'll be in the playoffs, no doubt.
49ers 27, the Seahawks 37, and we are out on Jimmy G. He's done for a while. Kittle is gone for a little while, and I don't know if the 49ers can put up much of a fight with the number of injuries that they've had to deal with this year.
So they made a trade today with somebody. I saw the alert. I was driving, and so I didn't get any details or specs on it.
Quan Alexander to the Saints.
Okay, Quan Alexander. Okay, so defensive guy.
Yep.
Saints trying to get better. Are they sellers? Are they selling right now? Do they think?
I think they think that they are done for this year.
Man, I don't want them to be done. They got the Packers next week. I really want them to win that game.
They're still going to be fighting and whatnot, but they kind of seem like they're sellers right now. Like that's kind of what it feels like. So, we'll see. We'll see. I just do we want to talk about DK Metcalf?
12. He's really good at football.
12 receptions, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I think the conversation for best receiver in the NFL right now is a 3-horse race between him, Adams from Green Bay, and Hopkins.
Yeah. Hey, DFS jumped in, and he knows way more about this than we do. He said traded Quan for Kiko Alonso.
Alonso.
Yeah, and he said Quan, huge missed tackle rate of 17%. Greenlaw made him expendable. Yeah, Greenlaw has been playing a bunch. Like Greenlaw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Is there anybody that I'm missing? I mean, Tyreek Hill is in that conversation. I'm just not a fan of his, so there's a little bit of,
along with DK Metcalf.
Hopkins and Adams. I think those are the 3 best receivers in football.
Hey, I'm going to toss out A.J. Brown when he's healthy. And he's been healthy here lately.
AJ's not close to those guys. He's really good. There's a lot of great receivers. I'm not saying these are only great receivers. These are the 3 in the conversation for being the best in the league.
Okay, maybe you're right.
A.J. Brown is not in that conversation. I'm gonna squash that. I like A.J. He's really good. He ain't one of these guys.
DFS said
I would not say Michael Thomas.
I don't think so either. Not right now.
And here's the reason why. I think your availability has to be just as important as your ability, and that cat ain't around for his team.
Casey threw out Lockett.
No, I can't do that. I love Lockett. I think Lockett is the most underrated receiver in all the NFL. He ain't close to the best.
Yeah. I mean, you might be right. I think Metcalf, when he's on, like, he is the dude.
He's unguardable. He reminds me, now he's a hell of a lot bigger. He doesn't look like this, but he reminds me of Larry Fitzgerald in Larry's prime, which is there's no double team that could stop him from getting the football. He's just too big, too fast, too athletic. You can't guard the air up here. It's just not allowed, and he's just unstoppable.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think you're right. I think you are right. And then finally, Eagles 23, Cowboys 9, Ben DiNucci 21 out of 40, 180 yards. Carson Wentz is not good at football. I don't care what anybody says. Like, that guy, he's not good. Like, no. I'm done with everybody talking about him being good. I'm done with it. So, Eagles move to 3-4-1, so they take over the lead.
I think they're going to drive this train home.
I think so.
The other teams I would love to see Washington. Man, they're a quarterback away from being decent. I wish they would make a deal for somebody.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they got to do. I mean, they might be in a good position to move up in the draft, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Let's go watch Monday Night Football here in a little bit. You guys know what to do. WinningCuresEverything.com is the website. Make sure you are subscribed everywhere you need to be subscribed. Go and check out our Opening Lines college football video over at SBR Picks on YouTube. That is the Sportsbook Review YouTube page. You can find the website, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. And tomorrow, we will be over there, not right here. We'll be over there tomorrow. DFS said, great show, guys. We appreciate that. Michael, thanks, fellas. I'm out. Nice seeing you again. I missed it. Hey, we miss you, buddy. Come back in anytime you want to. We'll be here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we're over at SBR on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Tuesdays,
we got podcast exclusive on those extra days.
Oh yeah, we got podcasts
so download those
on Sunday and Thursday. So
we're giving you 8 shows a week, baby.
It's insane. I mean, we're overworked anyway, and what do we keep doing? We keep adding stuff. But hey, we love talking, obviously. So with that said, subscribe where you need to be subscribed. Go knock all that stuff out. You can find links down in the description, of course, all that wonderful stuff. Chris, is there anything else we need to hit?
No, I think that's it. I haven't seen anything come through. I was looking.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Everybody, go and vote tomorrow. Your local elections are important. Forget about the big thing. Go vote in your local elections. Knock that stuff out. Get it done. Because you got to be with us tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time over at the Sportsbook Review YouTube page. So, with that said, we're getting out of here. You guys take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make sure to comment